Yes, that's me doing the cha-cha-cha. This old
Oh,
man learning new tricks.
okay, folks. I hope you saw that. Come on, Rafael, do it again for those that missed it. This is Rafael Gonzalez practicing the cha-cha. Getting ready for the cha-cha line or whatever the heck we're going to do over at WCI. So, hello, if you're joining us today, this is our first try at live streaming on YouTube. What do you think,
Yes.
Ralph?
Oh my God, that's why I'm so happy. I was dancing it up. Look at us. Look at us now.
So for those that have been following us, all last year I talked about being on YouTube and I said that we were going to be on YouTube, and well, it didn't quite happen, but here we are. We've been posting all of our episodes of season 5 here on YouTube. And so we hope you're following along, and I don't know what you think about it. You get to see all the shenanigans at work, what we're doing when we're interviewing folks. And I do know that my daughter does edit some stuff up and clean it up a little bit, but still, you get to see more of us than you would see when you're listening to us. What do you think so far, Ralph?
I'm loving it. You've done such a great job, Yvonne, this season with all of our interviews with our guests, putting them up on YouTube. I am a fan. I'm watching them. And I was there when we taped them, but I'm loving watching us and the reaction, both our reactions and our guest reactions, to the different things that we're talking about. So what a great new addition. It gives you nice new perspective, if you will, on, what we've been doing for 5 seasons, generally just talking and letting folks listen in. Yeah.
And can you really believe that we've been doing this for 5 seasons?
I can't. We say it all the time, and it's true. How lucky are we that folks are still interested, still want to hear it, still are enthused about it. I love the comments. I always love, especially when we're out and about throughout the country, Yvonne, the wonderful, things that people say about the show and the response. It's just fantastic. Yeah.
We do have a lot of fun. People often comment about our chemistry, and it is fun most of the time. For those that know us, you know that there are some aggravating times as well, trying to get everything scheduled and done on time and edited on time. And it is an interesting journey.
You keep me straight. I get it. I know it.
But hey, so yeah, season 5, and we are more than halfway through the year. Another shocker. But hey, we're just days away from WCI, the August 16th through 20th conference that's happening in Orlando. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it. It is my favorite. I have literally grown up attending WCI. It's the place where you get to visit with friends that maybe you haven't seen throughout the year. It's the place where you get to learn about every single aspect of workers' compensation. You name it, there's a breakout for it. And it's the place where I think at least for me, I've gone to not only learn, but to teach and to absorb and to serve. So it's become kind of a homecoming for me. This is my 38th WCI conference. And like a kid, you can see it. I'm so excited. I can't wait for it.
Check it out. Can you see the chat on the side there, Rafael?
I cannot. What did you say?
Well, it happens to be me, but it might be a guest when we're live over there. So in your StreamYard in the studio, just open up the side, and there's Mark.
All
Hi,
right,
Mark. So good timing, Mark. Thanks for showing up. So Mark Pugh is going to be podcasting as well over at WCI, and he and Bob Wilson will be sharing the desk for a little while. So we have a really great setup over at WCI, and we're really looking forward to connecting with you. We're in a great spot. So we're in what's called the Hospitality Circle. And so you can't miss it. If you're walking to the exhibit hall or the education area, when you come off the escalators, you walk along the windows, along that walkway, and about halfway before you get to registration or the information desk, maybe a little more than halfway, you're going to see on the left a sign that says Hospitality Circle. Then you'll see our backdrop that's going to have the great WCI Palooza graphics, deconstructing comp, Straight Outta Comp, and all the other podcasters that are joining us. So, Mark, are you ready? You ready to take the helm with Bob? So this is what we'll do. We'll have guests with us. So Ralph and I won't be separate. We will be showing up on one screen, and then so will the guests that we have. So we're looking to have live guests. If any of you are not able to join, well, Bob. Mark says, well, Bob. So I'm not sure how to interpret that. But if you're not able to make it to WCI, send us the DM and we'll be able to send you a link so you can join us and talk with us live during the live podcasting experience at WCI. Isn't this cool, Ralph?
I love it. It really is. We're taking it to another level, a new notch, if you will. How much fun and all of it, right? To connect us all, to make sure that we are absolutely still in touch with each other, learning from each other, engaging with each other. So how much fun. I love it.
Yeah, so the idea is that for those that aren't able to make it to the conference, it is a big conference, but we'd like to involve people as much as we can and kind of give you a taste of, not to rub it in, so to say, but like just kind of like be able to connect with other people that you otherwise would be able to connect with there. So, and with Ralph and I, we're always looking to have great conversations. So just bringing the conversation to the conference in a new way.
You got it. That's always what makes it so special, right? Is to continue that connection, whether you're here with us or whether you're out somewhere other in the country, to continue that connection. That's our favorite.
So what else is going to happen there, Ralph? We've got, like I said, Bob Wilson and Mark Pugh will be doing Straight Outta Comp. Okay, what does that mean? Haha, what do you mean? That must be, it says Deconstructing Comp commented. That must be Ariana, I'm guessing. I didn't type that message. Anyway, interesting. The chat's very lively. And Mark Pugh says, we are extremely excited to be part of this. We've already lined up several guests, and we look forward to engaging with people walking along the hallway. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So we've got Bob and Mark. We've got Carlos Luna with the Live, Lead, Legacy podcast. And then we have Nikki Jackson, who's going to be, she's representing Gallagher Bassett. She's with Gallagher Bassett now. Always loved Nikki. She's very articulate, very smart. And I'm looking forward to seeing the guests that everybody brings.
Me too. I really am. I'm excited to see, the conversations, the folks, the energy, right? Like that's a big part of it is, the contribution that each of these folks and their guests will have, not only to the conference, but to our little project here, right? This, again, the attempt at connecting us all, to continue to connect us all.
Yeah, so it worked like a charm. Actually, this is the first time. I usually don't like to schedule, ahead of time a live stream because it gets to be a little clunky when you start, but this was very seamless. Did it on the fly, posted it on LinkedIn around 3:30, said we're going to show up around 4. I sat there and watched Rafael on a phone call for about 15, 20 minutes and started to get super nervous, like I always do. And then I said, okay, we're live in about 10 minutes.
I can see it in your face. Like, I'm starting to get concerned. Come on, man, stop working over there.
Right. So anyway, Mark, if you're still listening, it's super easy. We'll show you the ropes once we get over there to the Marriott, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So this is what you do, folks. Show up here. If you're catching this not live, so the handle is in the graphics. It's at Deconstructing Comp. Carlos has a separate handle, and he'll be streaming to his podcast or his YouTube handle. Everybody else is going to stream here. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see lots of conversations, lots of activity. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And that, like I said, that runway there, that walkway is very busy. It's like the freeway of the conference, right, Ralph?
It is. So don't be surprised, if a few of us show up at each other's and, create a little havoc, a little song and dance. Again, we're going to have a lot of fun. Last year, Yvonne, we tried some of this. We were in the exhibitors hall, and I think we did one. There were 13 folks inside the picture slot. trying to get you to speak and to lead us was something remarkable.
It
But I
was
remember,
insanity. It was fun, but it was a little bit insane. So, Mark, if you're still listening, give us the tease. You're teasing us with some of your. You said you got some guests lined up, but let us know. Drop a name or two that you've got lined up. We'd like to be able to let our viewers know who might be coming when you've got the helm. And so, in addition to live podcasting, what else? There's so much going on at WCI, right, Ralph? But we're going to be podcasting. We're going to try doing it the morning of the Give Kids the World Service Day. So you and I are going to be up bright and early.
yes, ma'am. 6 a.m. We're going to be out there interviewing.
That's right. Well, I'm about 6 a.m., 6:30-ish. And so you might be out there at 6 a.m. So we'll be out there early, greeting everybody as we gather for our service day. And we hope to get a few interviews there. Then we'll go over on the buses. We'll do our service day over at Give Kids the World Village. We've tried doing this at Give Kids the World Village, and the signal situation is not so great. So, that's the next thing we have to invest in, Rafael. We have to get a huge like Wi-Fi booster that we can take with us wherever we go. So let's see. Oh, wow. He's already got some of the people I was going to ask. So Mark says they've got Stuart Colburn, Alex O'Neill, Deborah Livingston, Brittany Parr, Dr. Les Curtay, and Gloria Fagan. So good job. These are great individuals.
I know. These are industry superstars. That's awesome, Mark.
That's right. Good job. Thank you. So Ralph, we got to get busy because we need to send out our invitations, huh? Okay.
Sure, we got to get busy.
So Saturday morning around 6:30, we'll be down while everybody's getting their coffee. Huh?
Folks, just listen to this. You snooze, you lose.
Yeah. Well, one of us doesn't snooze, Mark. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's not me.
I'm the snoozer. I'm the loser.
So Saturday morning, bright and early, Give Kids the World Service Day. Always a fun day. So good and so great to see everybody coming together to support Give Kids the World Village. And then Sunday, we will be doing Kids Chance Golf Tournament.
Yep.
I loved doing that last year. I hope the weather plays out. I hope the weather holds out for us. We had an amazing day last year, beautiful day, and it was really a great experience.
Had so much fun speaking with folks that were off or coming back or turning around to get a little drink or something like that. But we had so much fun talking to folks from all walks of the workers' compensation life, if you will, right? From all aspects of the industry. It was so much fun. And you said it, the weather was incredible.
It was perfect. It was actually kind of cool with a breeze.
Cool in a breeze, yeah.
Who would have thought in the middle of August in Orlando, in Florida?
Never, ever. We had such a good time and it was beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah. So depending on the weather, we'll either be out by the golf course again, or we might take shelter, in the golf club right there. So what else? So remember, was it Mike Cirillo took off like while we were mid conversation, and his golf cart. See you later, guys, and whoop, there he went.
His group was leaving him, and there he was talking to us, and he jumped right on there.
And then Bob was on and laughing. I couldn't keep him serious for 2 seconds, so that's typical. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. We talked to quite a few people that day.
We did quite a number. It's always fun. And to hear everybody's perspective. We even got to speak with some new folks to the industry, right? Brand new to them. Folks, I think we also got to speak to a couple of the students who had received scholarships and they had returned to work the tournament. I just love that. I love different angles, different perspectives, how meaningful this particular project has become as a scholarship.
So the golf tournament's really growing, and that's a great thing to see. And then we talked to Tammy Boyd as well. Anyway, we talked to Nelson Gonzalez, Josh Schutte, one of our best buds. Anyway, it was great fun. Perfect day. And then so Monday and Tuesday during the conference, Ralph and I are taking the morning slot from 8 to 10. And so depending upon our other duties, so, if you haven't guessed by now, we all do multiple things at WCI. WCI, a shout out to the team over at WCI. That entire conference is put on primarily through volunteership, right? So everybody that you see at the registration desk, at every place that there's something happening to support the conference, over at the exhibitor desk where people that are exhibiting check in and stuff, that's all mostly volunteers. There's a couple of paid staff, but the lion's share is all done by volunteering. So big shout out to all the folks out there. So we've got a few other things that we need to show up for. So there might be a time that I run off and go do something for a few minutes and I'll come back. Same thing with Ralph, same thing with all of us. So just know that you'll be able to find somebody at the station most of the time between the hours of 8 and 4, with the exception of lunch. So what did I miss?
Come see us, come talk to us, come any of us, right? Of the podcasters that will be there. It's going to be so much fun, I think, to to grab folks and just have a little laughter, have a little fun, and maybe talk about your experience at WCI and what you're enjoying. Nothing beats the live surgery every year. For the lawyers out there, the live oral arguments before the Florida District Court of Appeal. I mean, there's so many different programs that are just amazing, right? One of a kind of all conferences out there in our sphere. So it's fun to hear folks' reaction, their experiences to it, especially if you're brand new to workers' comp or this is your first conference. We'd love to hear from you.
So the other thing that's new this year that we're all part of, most of us that are going to be podcasting, is a new track on Monday afternoon called the Crash Course in Workers' Comp. So are you excited, Ralph?
I am so proud of you, Yvonne. This is something that has been your baby. You have been advocating for this for a number of years, and WCI finally said yes, and you've been able to, put a group of us together to help you in this endeavor. And proud of you because we need it so badly. There are so many folks that are new to workers' comp. We have seen that growth. The last couple of conferences here, we've seen a lot of new faces, and they all whisper in your ear, I wish we had a little something for those of us new. How do we learn about workers' comp? How do we learn the depth and the differences and the extravaganza, right, that it is at WCI? So I'm so proud of you that you've come up with this program and you can lead us into it. The first ever crash course on workers' comp for new folks in our industry. Thanks, Yvonne.
Well, thank you. But we often say when we're talking to our guests, right, it does take a village. So yes, I've been asking for this for a few years, but can't do it by myself. So thanks to everybody that's putting time in. So there's 3 sessions. Actually, we were featured today in the WCI Spotlight that came out. So if you haven't read your Spotlight today, so that's, for those that don't know, that's an email that's put out by the Workers' Compensation Institute on a regular basis, particularly as we lead up to the conference. And they feature and spotlight different things going on with the conference. Because that's another thing we've heard. Gosh, there's so much happening. How do you keep track of everything that's going on? Well, there's a few ways. WCI Spotlight is one of them. But we are featured in the WCI Spotlight today. And there's a video that they asked me to do kind of describing what the crash course in workers' compensation is. So check that out. And, it's Monday afternoon. It starts at 1:00. And it starts off with Bob Wilson. Mark's on the panel as well. And they have a few other guests. I don't remember everybody's name. But the first session is the history of workers' compensation. So the first hour or so is a very broad overview of where workers' compensation came from. We just didn't pull this out of the air. There's actually a long history of rules and laws going back several thousand years that indicate that there has been a long-standing history of a system similar to workers' compensation to compensate people that were injured during the course and scope of their jobs. So that's the first hour. The second hour is yours, Rafael, and it's called It's Complicated. What can folks look forward to in that session?
We've got a great panel of expert folks, legal, medical, claims, that are going to explore, if one state workers' comp, we all thought we knew comp. We don't. There are 50 states and DC, 51 jurisdictions, and we've got federal programs out there, and we've got U.S. territories, and they're all different, folks. So we're going to explore that. What are the differences? What are the similarities? When do you think this applies and that other thing doesn't apply? So we're going to really examine it from the legal, the medical, and the claims component, and try to at least introduce to folks new to the industry that there are some minor and some major differences in how the states sort of practice out claims included workers' compensation laws out there.
Right. In the third hour, I'm going to moderate, and it's one of my favorite things to do. This one's called Behind Every Claim is a Human Story. And it basically talks about the humanity of what we do. And I think you and I talk about this all the time on our podcast. And, it may seem difficult depending on your role in the system. But when you understand and when you can embrace the fact that behind every injury, every case, every claim, whatever you call it in your role, is a human and a family connected to that human. When you start to understand how that impacts those humans, it really makes you look at things in a different perspective. Right, Ralph?
I totally agree. And you're right, Yvonne. We talk about this often because it's so incredibly important to always realize that there is an injured worker, there is an individual behind all of this, and that sometimes they're struggling financially, emotionally. And I think as soon as we're able to understand that and really understand the depth of that, then that's where that help comes from, right? That's when we're able to really engage and really find a solution that works for that particular individual. So I am really, really excited for this first ever, right, crash course on workers' comp, Yvonne. I'm really, really excited about it.
Well, I hope folks are excited too. So it's like 3 hours of content designed for folks that are newer to the industry. But you know what I've been telling people, Rafael? Again, we say this often when we're talking on our podcast. Even as long as you and I have been in this industry, I don't think there's a single guest we've interviewed where we don't take something away that we didn't know before. There's always something new to learn.
It's true, right? And that's what a wonderful thing for us to say out loud. Young or old or smack in the middle of your career here, always learning, always absorbing and listening to folks and their experience. What a great joy to be able to find a nugget to say, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Let me write that down. And most of you, if you've been, watching our interviews, I am writing down all the time. I'm learning from our folks because they are teaching us best practices. And is there a better way out there? Is there a solution to that problem? I really, really love. That's a component of what we do, Yvonne, that I absolutely love. It's really absorbing and learning new from our folks.
Yeah, so first hour, anyway, 3 hours designed for folks that are newer to the system, but also really great content, even if you're not newer to the system. So I've been getting a lot of questions in Whova and by text and email. So we really encourage you to join us. It's going to be a fun 3 hours, and we're going to explore some of the things that can be aggravating about the system, but also talking about all the things that when they all come together, when we all do the right thing, and when everything works as it should, it really is an amazing system. And we're very proud to be part of the system. And it's a great career path for folks to consider.
And that's going to come alive on that third presentation that you're giving us. You have been so incredible, Yvonne, over the years at bringing that humanity to our conferences, to our, different events, and having an injured worker tell us about that experience and what it took, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Because it doesn't all go smoothly sometimes. I think that's the most wonderful. I love listening to. Oh, who's playing that?
That was my phone. I thought I put it on Do Not Disturb, but there it was.
I thought Mark Pugh was playing song for us. Yeah.
So let's wrap it up because we're going on 25 minutes. So I have to say thank you, but I cannot take full credit. Just like when we were talking with Carlos Luna recently on his podcast, it wasn't my idea. I just really embraced it, and I have to give credit to David DiPaolo and may he rest in peace. He's passed on, but it was his idea to bring in the injured workers to the Comp Laude Awards and Gala, that event that was happening out in Southern California for about 10 years. And it took us a while to get people to buy into that idea. But once it took root, I'm now really proud when I see more and more frequently when we see injured workers on the agendas at our different conferences. It's really refreshing to see that it's taken on, and it's such an important perspective to consider and to include in our conversations.
Totally agree. I don't know, it clarifies for me the why.
Yeah.
It brings it to life. This is why we're so incredibly passionate about what we do, because there he is or there she is right there. It's a pretty spectacular experience. Yeah.
That's right. And then so this year, at the crash course on hour 3, we've got 2 great injured worker stories to share with you. Declan Graham and Josh Schutz. And they are both what we call full 360 stories. Their injuries were quite serious. Declan was very catastrophic. So was Josh, and I don't want to reveal any of the details because I want to keep it for the event. But both of them had a long and difficult recovery path, and with the right care team, they were able to recover, and they were very resilient, and they did recover. And now they're both working again. So great full 360 stories, I like to call them. You're going to be so inspired when you come and listen to their stories. So we hope to see you in Orlando in just a couple of weeks.
Please make it, if nothing else, to that one in particular, because it really is. You're going to walk away inspired by what we do as a system, and you'll be incredibly amazed at these 2 wonderful individuals and the team that care for them and that remain in place today. They're close friends. I get goosebumps just thinking about it, just talking about it.
It's great. So, all right. So that's it for us today, folks. Hope that you'll join us here. We're going to do another test again. I'm hoping to set something up for next Monday, which is the 11th of August, an actual dry run where we have guests and all that. So Ralph and I will be working on inviting some guests to that. And until then, watch for us here. We hope that you've been enjoying our content that we're putting on YouTube, and we cannot wait. And I just wanted to say, too, make sure if you can come to any of those 3 sessions at WCI, because they're all important, Ralph. The third one is going to be a really impactful one, but it's all details, right? All details that matter in our system. So it's good to understand the history, where it came from, how it started. It's really good. And this is the part that aggravates people and has them scratching their head, the complications and why it's so different in each and every state. But it's important to know these differences and understand them. And then finally, we'll end up with the stories of when it all comes together and it works. It's just a really beautiful thing.
Yeah. Can't wait. Oh,
all right. So we hope to see you there. Mark, thanks for tuning in and playing along. It's looking really good. The chat's working. And as you can see, I was able to post. I'm going to post this one too. So these are chats that come in, and we're able to post them on the video so that they can show up in the video as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. We'll get to play with that. And until then, we look forward to seeing you. So until later, hasta luego.